Hey everyone, another weekly update on the Rusi, at least whenever I do anything worthwhile. And today I think I did something really worthwhile. So this is a 2022 KRI 200. It's my little project bike that I test stuff on, ideas and things. So a lot of people say, why you putting so much money in it. I just enjoy testing. It's an inexpensive bike, and I think it's better to have 3 grand in this than 10 grand or $15,000 in a KTM, especially for an old guy that's just trail riding. So again, I consider this a beginner trail bike or beginner rider into the dual sport or off-road uh, arena. So that's where I classify this. This is not a race bike in my opinion, and I don't know that it can be turned into one. Depends on your definition as usual of racing, who you're racing and what you're racing. Top rider, Graham Jarvis. No, this is not a race bike, so that's who I'm comparing it to. So this is a beginner trail bike. So anyhow, get back to the topic. Standout features that I've done. I really like the battery, relocating the battery a little bit, moving it around, losing weight. I got a lithium ion battery under the seat, so it's taken about 4 or 5 pounds off the bike. I removed the tray, the battery, remove the idler. We'll get around there, but that's been a big, every time I get on I go, wow, it feels so much lighter. I just really, maybe I'm getting used to it by now, but it's been about 2 or 3 weeks. But today, because I've been ripping valve stems off, I try to run low pressure, 10-15 pounds. Just depends on when and where I ride, but no higher than 15 and usually not much lower than 10. So today I went with rim locks. I got some plastic ones. I guess they're made in China here in the Philippines. I'll get back to so you can see them there. So I don't know if you can see it. So 12 o'clock or 11 o'clock position's a rim lock. Over there at 4 o'clock or something is the air thing. So if you can look in there. So there's a rim lock there. There's a rim lock there. I've got 2 rim locks and an air where you put air in. So I triangulated them because it's a 36 spoke wheel, and I thought that gave the best balance, and if nothing else it made it look decent. So and it measures out 12 spokes. And the way you put your rim locks in, if you see here, if you put a rim in there, it'd be hard. If it was a lock or air thing, it'd be hard to air up. So every 4 spokes on a 36 spoke rim, I call it the key spoke, where it's wider here and you can easily put something. So that's what I've done there. That's the way you want to kind of decide where a rim lock's going to go. So you got your valve, 4 spokes, and there's a opening there, a little wider open, 4 more spokes, another one. So since I had going with 2, I'll let you know how that works out. They're plastic. I've never used plastic before. It may be junk. I think they're made in China, but they're plastic. They're really lightweight and they're smooth, and so we'll see what happens. My 2 cents is just don't over tighten this. Don't get in there and crank it down, because you're talking about metal and plastic together holding your fork in, so, or your bead in. So don't overly, tighten it like you're torquing bolt, over torque the bolts. So I just got it snug, and I'll check it and snug it a little bit more. But obviously, tighter you got, the better to some degree. But being plastic, I was leery of, really tightening it down and, have the bolt come through the rim and breaking it. So, but it seemed pretty sturdy from what I could tell. Kind of mimics Protec, or I think it's Protec rim locks, except these are steel, into plastic. and I made a 8mm hole, so they're very snug, not much movement. I think the standard valve is around 9mm, 8.8. So these are 8mm. That's the drill bit I use. So it depends, the different rim locks may be different sizes. So we mic'd it out, and they were like 7.8 or something, or 8. Yeah, I think it was like 7.8 or 9 or something. So I said, let's just do an 8mm thing. So that's new. Wrote on it. So, and if you don't know what rim locks are, they lock the bead on so you can run different pressures, and the tire and rim won't spin separately. So what was happening before without rim locks, the tire would spin and grab the tube and twist the tube and then break off the valve stem, and then you have a flat. Of course, when you have a flat, it's hard to ride, or next to impossible to ride, because the tire wants to come off the rim. And rim locks lock it on the rim, so you could, if you get a flat and the terrain's not terribly, rocky and rough, and you don't ride too fast, you can ride, back home or back to get it repaired without the tire coming off the rim. So that's the beauty of rim locks. It eliminates you twisting the valve stem off the tube, and then when and if you do get a flat, because you probably will eventually, you can ride back to the car or get back without fiddling with the bike. Maybe you're tired, it's getting dark, you're cold, whatever excuse, you can literally ride your bike, back to wherever you came from. So you just go a little slower because you don't have any air in the tire, but you can still make it. The other thing I've done and did when I mountain bike, because I've been motorcycling and mountain biking for 41 years or more, is I've had some pretty good success. It doesn't, again, it's nothing in this world's foolproof. But I put a tire sealant, not in the tire, but in the tube, for a little added security. I'm well aware of tubeless. I've done it on mountain bikes for 30 years. I've been running tubeless for probably 25, 30 years. So I know, stands, no tubes, all the tubeless systems, I've done it all. But I've also, you don't hear too many people about running it in the tube. I don't think it's quite as successful, but I think it's still better than not having nothing. So I put, I don't know, 8 ounces or something in, and if it dries up a little bit, or I feel like I want more, I'll put another 8 ounces. In 3 to 6 months, usually about 3 to 6 months, it's dry, dried, and so it's hard to get everything here in the Philippines that you can get in America. But so that's the latest thing this week. I'm gonna do that with all the wheels, add sealant in the tube. I would recommend, probably 8 ounces would be my recommendation. Start with there, and if you got a really big tire, then obviously go a little bit more. I'll let you know how these plastic rim locks from China work out. I'm also going to do them to the rear, which I haven't done yet. I'm waiting on the rim locks to come, and probably end up going with a wider rim on the back, because I like the stability it adds to the sidewalls of the tire. Gives you more air volume inside your tire. So probably go from this 1.85 to the 2.15. So this is a 160 on the front with rim, in case you don't know, and this is a 185 on the back. They usually say on the rim somewhere what size rims you have, so that way you know what tire and rim lock to order. So just match the rim lock with the rim size. So if the rim's a 1.60, you get a 1.60 rim lock, which is what I've done. Most people run 1. I've heard of a couple people running 3. I like to run 2, and I just think it balances the wheel nice. And like I said, again, nothing else that looks nice, but I think it adds balance because it's evenly spaced, 12 spokes all the way around. And then you have a little heavier weight with the valve stem and the rim lock. So, and then of course, if you're real technical and you want to balance your wheel, you should be doing that if you want to go beyond that. So that's my little setup there. I'm still going with it came in and I'm working, waiting to get a couple things for that, but I'm going to try a rear tire, rear rim on the front and get away from the 21 wheel. So just to experiment. I know every pro and everybody runs this, but I'm always looking for a little edge or to try different things. So I want to try a 18, exactly what I got on the back, 18-inch, 185 rim. I think that's a 410 or 400 IRC Volcano. So, and the reason I'm doing that, I just think it adds stability, more stable because you have more tire on the ground. It's going to make it harder to turn, but that's part of the problem I'm having. It really turns very quickly and pushes and washes out. There's probably some other issues going on for sure, but I wanted to try that. And the knobs are a lot stiffer, and this one is 3-ply, so the casing on the tire is much stiffer. This particular IRC front tire is 2-ply, and the knobs are I can't flex them as much with that, but they're very flexible. With my right hand, I can really turn them over. So kind of feels vague to me, but I'll let you know how that experiment goes. So going to run 218s, both of them 400 and 410 tires. Should give me, the only thing I've considered or measured, make sure your forks are wide enough. So I'll have about a 1/2 inch on each side, so that shouldn't be a problem. I'll let you know how I like it. If I think the ride sucks, I'll put this back on. If I feel it's fun or likable, then I'll keep it and keep testing it. So this bike is my little test dummy. So that's about it. Like the battery, like the carburetor, CPO 30 millimeter, and the battery's been an outstanding feature. Motor's been very solid on the bike, so I know it's Chinese and a lot of people don't like that, but I wanted an inexpensive bike, but I'm very pleased so far, and I've met people over here that's been riding them 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, and the motor's held up, so that's pretty darn good for a $1,400 bike, because I know people with KTMs that the motor's gone in a year, because these other bikes you're buying, which I've owned pretty much all of them as well, they're very high compression, very high strung. You're rebuilding them sometimes every 6 months to a year, and I've seen many of my friends, and I've personally done that. So these old Honda XR 200, air-cooled bikes, this is what this is kind of like. It's air-cooled, it's an old motor, low compression, low stress, and so they do last, but I've been quite pleased. They'll probably cursed myself, they'll probably blow up tomorrow, but anyhow. And then I switched to a 40 weight, straight 40 weight. I was advised by a couple people not to do that, because but I said I'll take responsibility. I think to me it's been a plus, because when I used to have clutch problems when I first bought the bike, because it ran so hot, the clutch plates would swell out and it wouldn't disengage, or I couldn't shift it. But since I've done the 40 weight, I have not had one issue with overheating clutches, so it's been really great. So, and the reason I would do that, I would not do that if I was in a cold climate place. I think that's too thick, but here in the Philippines it's certainly not cold. Every day is 85 to 95, so there's no need for a 10 weight or a 20 weight. It's never cold here, so I would be even interested in maybe trying a 50 weight oil if I could find it, but it's been hard to find a straight 40, so this is not a 10 but W40, it's a 40, one, straight weight. So I think it's been great. So it solved my issue with the clutches, so I highly recommend it. Well, that's my time. I get to gab a lot here with the bike talk, so thanks for watching, everybody. Stay tuned for the other wheel builds, and I'm going to also put fork bleeders on. We'll go into that in another video. Thanks for watching.